Okay, so here are the wings, and I put some ailerons on just to show you where they're done. Put most of them on, then I'll show you how I put the last one together. But I put all the ailerons on since we last were here, and they were very simple to put on. And they look good. All the coloring matches very well. So again, the kit is designed well. But there's an aileron folded, but just not glued together. And you can see how it goes together by folding the top pieces together and then putting that last little piece on the edge. So what you do is you're going to fold that and then put it in here. Now see, there's an opening there on those trailing edges on all of them. And they have a little piece here that's cut and folded in a right angle. You can see it's got a thin end to it. And you're supposed to put that into that little gap. And so you slide this in like so, and you can if you wish. I put it in like 2 of them and found it wasn't necessary. So to me, that's kind of useless, unless you got a huge hole somewhere. So I tossed those out, at least for this one. But those are supposed to go in there. Now to do this, you just add glue along the perimeter, as we've always done, and make sure you add some glue, all the way on both sides on that piece, because that's what that little trailing edge piece dart puts in there. I put some glue down on that end and then glue all around the edge. I get it started. I slide that tip plate essentially in, make sure it's in there and it gives it some bulk, and then you clamp it together with your fingers. And you can see on the end there's another little piece that tapers, but it fits very well. See how that taper just kind of automatically makes itself? And then after you test fit, you put a little glue on along there. Again, it had that gap filler in there. Maybe it would be easier, but I didn't think it was necessary, and it doesn't look bad once it's done. And you put your aileron in and just make it even. In this case, I'm not trying to make this have ailerons in different directions. So anyway, that's how the ailerons go on. And there's the bottom wing attached with some dihedral. Looks good. Not bad at all. It's really starting to look like the airplane, which is really nice. So there they are, all together. And now we're got to get ready to put the top wing together and get dihedral on it. So now I took the top middle section and I butted up there, and you can see I've drawn lines on the plans to essentially give me an idea what the dihedral is supposed to be. So I put the wing root up against that, hold it along where the center section ended, hold it up along that top line, and you can see that if I extend it out that far, that arrow there is showing the distance that I need to have the tips up to have the correct dihedral on my wing. So I found out that it cost me about 80 cents to do that. You can use anything you want. But this is how I do it on my free flight models when I'm building them. Put little pennies and things under it to get the dihedral correct. So put them into the wingtip. There's another little trick is you put glue down, put some saran wrap down, plastic wrap. That way things won't glue to the table, especially if you're working on your wife's table. But you take your little dihedral jig essentially. And remember the wings too at the base, they have, the wing panels are actually canted. The rib is canted, so that'll also help you get the right angle really. But put that up on the very end, and that should be, if we glue that in, that should be the correct angle. Things tend to sag once you glue them, I've noticed, so sometimes putting a little more angle is okay because they do tend to fall down a bit. But I started putting a little super glue on there, and I slid this piece in, and I put too much glue on, and it all squirted out and looked bad, but we'll see if we can fix that later. I ended up actually redoing these with the regular white glue because it didn't work as well as I thought. But anyway, I put a little bit of accelerator on there to make that dry fast. And there is a wing panel with supposedly the correct dihedral on there based on our plan. And then all you have to do is put the other one on. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it and making sure it's close. And you can see it's up there. It's where it's supposed to be. Now, put on the other side, you do the very same thing. There's nothing magical about it. Very easy to do. Put in your pennies or whatever you're using, your Deutschmarks, your rubles. Put in your glue etc. And what I found, sadly, was when I did this, it works, it does work, I'm not lying to you. But my center section wasn't even with the wing panel, so I actually took them apart, and I weighted down that center section, in this case with some pliers, to make sure that it was really flat. I think it wasn't quite flat on the board. And then I set the dihedral again. This is just a mock-up to show you what I did, but I had to do it the second time because it really didn't work well. There I'm crossing my fingers, hopefully this actually pays off, which ultimately it did in the end. So here's the done top panel. Made sure everything is even, which is nice. Make sure I got the same dihedral on each side. You push down sort of in the center, and you can see that you got dihedral going up on both sides, which is good. So I'm just pointing out that angle or that distance over there is the same as this side, even though it's kind of hard to tell on the video. But that is exactly how you do that, and then what we're going to do now is try to figure out how to put all these wings on in the center section and put the inner planes. I think I'm going to start with the inner planes and then work my way in. So hopefully that will go well, and that'll be our next installment.